Hey guys, it's Dr. Brandie for another episode of Pregnancy Pain Sucks. Temporarily, I'm here with Beef and Mabel. I'm going to put them on the floor in just a second, but I was introducing them to our guest, Julianne from Bottomals, and I'm super excited to meet her. She wanted to meet my pups. But Julianne, can you introduce yourself to our audience and like what you do and a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm Julianne Gardner, and I am the founder of Bottomals and the inventor of the first ever bottle lovey, which
Mhm.
helps babies, or it's designed to help babies transition from breast to bottle using mom scent and a really sweet animal lovey, so you can
Aw,
see it here.
I love Loveys. My kids both love Loveys. They had their own Loveys. They still don't have them. They're like 27 and 18 now, but they definitely people have their Loveys for a long time. So
They
it's nice
do.
to have your mom set. So how did you get this idea, Julianne?
So, in addition to being a founder of Bottomals, I am a mom of two with one on the way. And they say, first baby is going to be easy and will trick you into having a second. And that's what happened to us. Our son was incredibly challenging when it came to feeding and sleep as well. But um, when it came to feeding, he was a breastfed baby. And I just wanted the flexibility of being able to give him a bottle so I
Mhm.
could step away. Breastfeeding, there's a lot of stress and pressure that I feel
Mhm.
like comes with breastfeeding, being the sole provider of nutrition for your baby.
Mhm.
I found that stressful and just wanted to make sure that he would be able to take bottles in case anything ever happened to me. Or again, I just wanted to be able to get
Got
out
a
of the
break.
house
Yes.
without the
Yep.
baby attached. And we found out pretty quickly that not every baby likes bottles.
Mhm.
And we tried everything there was. We tried every bottle. I remember the one day I was at my wits' end and
Mhm.
just went to Target and scooped up every brand of bottle that I could find. Didn't care how much I spent.
Yep.
I was like, we're trying everything.
Yes.
And
You're like, we're gonna fix this. Yeah.
exactly. And none of them, changing all of them, none of them worked. And even utilizing my one of my sisters who is a feeding therapist,
Wow.
she didn't have much luck with him either. And so I just started doing my own research and read blogs, recommendations from lactation consultants, whatever I could get my hands on, I read. And one of the things that really struck me was how many people suggest to use mom scent to
Mhm.
help the baby transition to the bottle. So that was one of the tricks and tools that we used. I would wear a shirt and we would wrap it around the bottle. And he seemed to take the bottle a little bit more easily
Mhm.
using that trick. And I have a degree in biology and worked in clinical trial research for 13 years. So I wanted to know if this was fact or fiction. Is there actually science behind this? And I came to find out that there is so much research behind how mom scent helps babies. It soothes them. It has implications in feeding.
Mhm.
And incredibly, it also helps babies gain weight faster when they can smell their mom. So I just decided to take matters into my own hands.
Mhm.
And after I found out that bottle aversions or bottle refusal for just preference reasons was such a widespread problem, I decided to create my own solution. And I just started drawing and dreaming and inventing mostly during those 2 a.m. feedings because that
Yep.
was when I actually had some time to think. And I invented the bottle lovey. It
Mhm.
is patent pending. And I launched my product into the marketplace officially June of 2025.
Wow. So this is like really new. So tell me if it's not too personal, what were the thoughts that were going through your head with the second child, which is totally different from the first? We've all
Mm-hmm.
two kids, like two totally different experiences. Was it like a frustration? If you don't mind me asking, did you feel like something was wrong with your son? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what are the thoughts for other moms that are out there? What were you seeing with your son that he was not loving, besides not taking the bottle? Because I treat a lot of
Mhm.
infants and teach that. There's a lot of behavior where they get frustrated.
Yeah.
Talk to the audience about how their baby appears and how they may be feeling and how they feel towards their, in honest terms, how they feel towards their baby of like not being able to leave and being so dependent on you. Talk to me about that.
It was incredibly frustrating and disheartening because I felt like a lot of, he was attached to me for nearly the first year of his life. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, he still is. But at least he's more flexible now.
Yeah.
But I had to cancel so many things all the time. It was hard for me to really continue to live life in a normal way because his needs had to come first. My needs, as a mom, you do learn that pretty quickly that your needs aren't priority anymore, but his needs, truly nutrition, making sure he was fed, that had to be prioritized above everything else. Um, I think my family could attest that at many family functions, I was found crying in the corner
Aw,
because it was
it's so
just a really,
frustrating.
it was very, very frustrating.
Mhm.
And I wanted to create something that would help other families. And when I did the beta testing with my product, the best
Mhm.
way that I knew was just to go locally and
Mhm.
find moms who were struggling with bottle feedings with their babies. And the results were resoundingly positive, even just from my informal testing with moms and their babies.
Mhm.
One mom said that it was a miracle. She had never seen her baby take a bottle before, and instantly her baby took the bottle using the
Aw.
bottle lovey. So, and she even captured it on camera because she
Aw.
was so amazed.
She probably was like so upset, like very emotional about it. Cause I know us as moms, I think the biggest thing is for moms is when you have a first pregnancy, you have a child and you think, that's why I called my book, What You Don't Expect When You're Expecting. And it's about the
Mhm.
second pregnancy because you're like, I got this. That would probably was like the farthest thing from your mind of having to worry about your kid even eating and
Right.
being concerned about that. Tell me about like the most frustrating time that you can remember. Like, did your frustration spill over with the baby and then the baby sort of feels that stress of like, why won't you just eat? And then you're concerned for them. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because there's people I've seen on TikTok where they're just crying because
Yeah.
it's like it's so loaded because it's not just my kid won't take a bottle. It's how you feel as a mom, right? It's how you feel
Mhm.
about your child and what's wrong with your child that they can't take, like they can't do it, but it's actually science. Because like
Yeah.
if we found an animal, if I found a bunny out today in the yard, you know that the logic is not to touch them because
Mhm.
you'll get scent on them, and then the mom, that's the wives' tale or whatever. But if
Yes.
that's with animals that are fighting under my feet right now, how it's got to be the same thing for bait. Like when you started doing this testing, where you're just like, oh my god, why has nobody thought about this?
Yeah, I did. I definitely did have those thoughts, but I don't think I realized the true impact of it until I started bringing my product more out into the open because I kept it a secret for a long time. I didn't know how far I would be able to take it, if it was even going to be worth it, if people would find that it made a difference.
Yep.
And after that, I found it made a difference. I applied for my first pitch competition, which, if you don't know what a pitch competition
Oh, I
is,
just
it's
did my first one. They're nerve wracking. Yeah.
yes, it's
Yeah.
essentially like a small Shark Tank competition where you uh, pitch your business and
Yeah.
your product in front of a panel of judges and an audience as well. And you get feedback, questions, and there's usually a winner at the end.
Yeah.
And I won that first pitch competition. I've won two other ones since
Wow.
then.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, but the thing that I realized was it wasn't winning did give me validation, but it was really the people that I talked to afterwards saying, I wish I had this product. Dad's coming up to me saying, I wish I had this because I couldn't feed my own baby. for, a long time and couldn't have that bonding experience with them. And I realized that the problem wasn't just with us, it was so many families. And that was and still is a really exciting part to see that people not only resonate with the problem, but they resonate with the way that I'm trying to solve the problem of bottle struggles.
Yep. It's just huge. Like, it's just like, I think part of, like, I'm a pregnancy chiropractor, right? Or an infant chiropractor. People don't realize when you don't have a solution to something, like how that messes with your head. So that's what I think. When I first heard about your product, I was like, oh my God, why has nobody thought about that? Like, it's like one of those reactions, because it is like, if you can't do the basic functions with your own child or leave the house, like, you don't want to be mad at your child, because it's just like they're having a natural reaction where maybe they don't like the smell of plastic or the feel of plastic or whatever. But I just love your product so much. How were your pregnancies in terms of, like, can you talk about your pregnancies with your kids and like how that sort of changes you, especially the first one? Like, I call my company Bloom, that I founded in 2006. And I just talk to me about the person that you were before, if that's okay, Julianne, and like who you became by carrying your each of your babies makes you a different person, right? So talk to me about that. Talk to the audience about that change.
I would say to anyone who is not a mom or hasn't had that experience, but is looking for, that experience of motherhood, the person that you are before and the person that you will be after you have kids, you will be a completely different person. And I say it in the best way possible, because it is a very humbling experience, not only with pregnancy, with how your body changes, but going through, it's a long, it's not a sprint, it's definitely a marathon. It's a long process with your body changing. You're adapting and learning about your baby even before that they're here. And then that experience of postpartum, I really say the first year, it's not even a fourth trimester. It's that first year you are learning so much about yourself and your baby. And the sleepless nights can compound a lot with that. And the issues that you face as a mom are, again, very humbling, but they will change you forever in the best way possible. I think the person that I was before versus who I am now, I've learned a lot of qualities like patience and perseverance because of my kids. They present challenges that you have to learn how to adapt. And you really learn that their needs have to come first. And it's a beautiful experience, which is why we're doing it again a third time.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah. But I think you become the best version of yourself through motherhood.
You really do. Like, I think it, like, for me, I've been doing this for 24 years, and now I'm taking care of people's babies. I'm taking care of different populations. I'm taking care of people that are now becoming grandparents. I'm taking care of their kids that I took care of their mom when they were pregnant.
Wow.
And women like myself who are getting divorced and are going back into the dating realm and that whole thing. So that's an interesting, like, like circle of life moment of being in practice for 2 years. But I don't think I've ever had a product or heard about somebody that I have with you that I was like, oh my God, I have to meet her. Because to me, when I heard your story, it's a beautiful testament to what we'll do for our kids. And in doing that, to help your kid, to your son, you're going to help so many millions of families with what you invented. And I just think that's a beautiful thing about entrepreneurship. It's a beautiful thing about being a mom and being a parent. And you just didn't give up. But I think that is such a badass thing that I just had to meet you. And for those of you listening at home or on Spotify or Apple Music, it sounds like a herd of buffaloes are in here. Normally my dogs are asleep. Julianne and I were supposed to do the podcast at 2:00 in my office. But because of some scheduling changes, I'm home with the dogs who normally sleep. And my two Frenchies that you saw at the top of the podcast are loud as itself, because Julianne was like, maybe I should get a Frenchie, but they're loud intrinsically, but they're super loud today. So I'm hoping my team can scrub the back end audio of the underlying track of Frenchies.
I'm glad my kids aren't screaming right now because
Well,
that was happening before.
But I really appreciate your product, and I appreciate your story. And I thank you so much for being. Is there anything else you want our audience to know about where to find you, or like I think your product would be an amazing sprinkle gift, or a gift for the people that you don't know. It's a double of a lovey and has a little scent of you, which is kind of cool. So
I would say one of the things about my product. So I now am in the habit of just gifting it to every mom that comes into my life, and whether or not they're having bottle issues, I gift it up front. And case in point, one of my very best friends, she's now a mom of 4. She just had twins. Her babies have been bottle fed since birth, and I received a text from her the other night saying that the one baby has been struggling with bottles, and they're about 3 months old. And she said we used the bottle lovey, and he had his best feeding of the day and finished his whole bottle with the bottle lovey.
It's like, that's so great. That like it gives you chills because it's just like moms helping moms. And I think that's what you and I are very passionate about, is like making it better for other moms so they don't have the struggles that we had. And because it's such a beautiful experience. It's hard enough, right? Without that kind of stuff, like your first pregnancy, you didn't really get to know that. Just like my second pregnancy, I didn't get to know how bad it is not to be able to work when you're pregnant. And so that's what really sealed it for me. But I really appreciate you being on here today and taking the time to meet with me. Where would we find your product, Julianne?
Yes. You can find it at my website, www.bottomals.com. You can follow us on all social media platforms. Bottomals is our handle. And you can also find us in 18 retail stores. Most of them are in the local area. So go to our website and you can see if there's a local retailer near you where they carry the product.
Yeah, I highly recommend your product. And thank you so much for taking the time. But everybody check it out. This has again been Dr. Brandie Keates with another episode with my Frenchies apparently today, and pregnancy sucks, and how to fix it. So thank you so much for joining in. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks, Julianne.
Thanks, Dr. Brandie.